YouTube. So today I'm doing a video with my mom. Today we're going to be comparing application with a wet generic sponge and a generic dry sponge. Like, first off, you can see the difference in size. This is the wet and this is the dry. So they're just like, this one's like denser and this is softer. So we're applying two different foundations. She's applying the Fit Me in 120. Looks like that. And I am applying my Revlon Color Stay in 110. So it just looks like that. Put it on her face, and then half of it's going to be wet, and then half of it's going to be dry.
Half wet sponge, half dry sponge.
Yeah. So let's do this. So I'm going to do this side wet, this side dry. What are you doing?
I'll do my right side of my face with the wet.
And then the other side dry.
Yeah.
Oh.
You could use a wet sponge. And
She's always been using a dry sponge.
I really like how it looks.
I've converted her. I'm not liking this. I don't enjoy dry sponge. I feel like I'm just dragging sandpaper across my face or something. Something unpleasant. What do you think, Mama?
I don't think I'll go back.
Every day she uses a dry sponge to apply her foundation. Look at the difference. Look at the difference of coverage. Right here, full coverage. Right here, redness. I cannot believe that. Let's put a little bit more.
I need so much more makeup. I wonder why I went through my bottle of makeup so quickly.
It's because it all gets in the sponge. Look at that. Okay, if you look, that's the dry sponge. And then this is the wet sponge. So much less makeup is in the wet sponge than the dry sponge. The problem with the dry sponge is that it absorbs your makeup. With the wet sponge, it doesn't. It shears it out and makes it look more full coverage. She didn't know that. So she's been using a dry sponge, throwing them out. Use one side, use the other, throws it out. With a wet sponge, you can wash it and reuse it. Okay, I need to fix the other side of my face with the wet sponge.
Did you do a comparison?
Yeah, I don't enjoy it. There's a little bit of foundation still on the sponge, and I can now apply it to the other side because it was
Which side do you like?
I definitely really like a wet sponge. You can see the difference between the dry and the wet. Put your hand there. Go closer. So this is the dry and this is the wet. So the dry sponge absorbed a bunch of your makeup and the wet sponge sheared it out and made it look more flawless and full coverage. So what do you think, Mom?
I'm converted. I will never go back to a dry sponge.
Let's see yours. Yeah. You can just see all the makeup that got into your sponge. That's all of this makeup that's being wasted. And if you look with the wet sponge, not as much is in there, and you can still go in and tap what's left on here, and you can wash this and reuse it a few times instead of just patting this on, patting the other side, and throwing it out. She goes through bags and bags of sponges because she's using it dry. So will you use it wet now?
I will use it wet now.
I want to try it with other foundations now.
See, you have a whole new way of applying makeup now.
Because with my Revlon Color Stay, I would use my stippling brush, and I'd stipple it on, and then I would blend it out with a e.l.f. powder brush, just because the stippling brush kind of looked a little cakey, and then the powder brush would just buff it out better. But this is just a one-step thing where you just wet it, and it was really cool seeing it when it was dry, and then when you squeeze it, and then it just expanded to Like, you see that? You see that? You see that? You see that? So different. So that was our kind of like comparison of a wet sponge and a dry sponge, applying two different foundations on the face and seeing what kind of look you get. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. There may be a few more videos with my mom, like how I'm going to apply her makeup maybe. Who knows? If you guys have any requests you want to do, or if you want to see her again, leave a comment down below. Other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out all of our other videos. You can find us on Instagram, Tumblr, and Facebook. So I hope you guys are doing good, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!